Greetings, everyone, especially those in the Aurora Prehistoric Scenes Society Facebook group. John here with an update on the Aurora Prehistoric Scenes refrigerator magnets and coasters project I've been working on. You may have seen me post to the group various photos of the work in progress. So, years ago, I had seen somebody had made some prehistoric scenes magnets in some sort of gift shop. I saw them. And that was like 10, 20 years ago. I didn't buy them at the time. I thought they were cool, but I didn't think that I would want those. And since then, I've kind of kicked myself. And so I decided, well, I could make my own. And that's exactly what I've been working on. And I've learned a lot along the way. I'm refining my process. I've experimented with some different resins, and I think I've identified one that's going to work. And also some designs, molds, some things of that nature. So there's a lot that goes into it. You got the molds, you got the resin, you've got the kind of magnets you use. And I've identified, hopefully, some better magnets. So anyway, this is what they're looking like so far. So here's a couple of them with the magnets on the back. And here are some of the coasters here. Let's get everything right side up. So, and they're kind of thick. So, I've been refining the process and the design. I found a new mold for the coasters that's going to have a lip on it. And I've identified there's a kind of a cushion black, I don't know if it's silicone or rubber, kind of something I can stick to the base so that it doesn't move around. Because right now these are real smooth, and so they can move around a little bit. So I'm going to do something to address that. So where I'm going with this next is I'm going to get the better resin, get the better magnets, get the better mold, and finally produce something that I can make available to you. When I do this, it's going to be part of a crowdfunding campaign. And it's not just to do the magnets. There's a bigger picture here. You may have seen that I have been producing some of the spare parts for the Aurora Prehistoric Scenes kits. So that was kind of the first step in where I'm going. Eventually, my plan is to 3D scan and then 3D print all of the Aurora Prehistoric Scenes kits and do some re-engineering and address some engineering problems like the T-Rex arms breaking off easily, or the vulture and the tar pit kind of sitting kind of weird. So you may have seen that when you built that kit. So I'm going to be making a few adjustments. I'm also going to try as much as possible with this to reduce the amount of seam lines, because I don't know about you, but as a model maker myself, I hate dealing with seam lines, all the putting and sanding and all of that. So that's a big portion of my big picture. To do that, I'm going to need the 3D printing equipment and ventilation equipment and everything else. I've got my 3D scanner. I need to set it up. But I bought a 3D printer and curing station. And then I was going to work on it in my garage and moved it downstairs to the garage. And then somebody stole that equipment out of my garage. Working with the insurance company right now, but there's going to be expenses involved in getting this set up and getting this to production. Not just the printing equipment, but because I'm going to move this back up into my apartment, into one of my spare bedrooms, or I only have one spare bedroom, but into the spare bedroom, I've got to set up a ventilation system because those fumes are toxic. And so you want to filter uh, and vent those fumes out. um, so that's so the fundraiser is not going to be so much for the magnets and coasters, although you will get the magnets and coasters. But in supporting my crowdfunding campaign, you're going to help get me set up to do a new line of the Aurora Prehistoric Scenes kits. And big shout out to Jim Keeler. I've previously talked to him about this, and he has been a huge help. So thank you, Jim. So at this point, let's talk about the crowdfunding campaign and what I'm going to be selling on that. So I'm going to be selling the magnets, and again, I've identified a better resin. I've refined the process, and I'm going to be using some stronger magnets so they don't fall off. And the magnets I've had previously weren't all that strong, so I want to make sure I give you a good quality product. The coasters, again, I'm got a new mold that I'm going to use. It's going to have a lip so that your drink doesn't slide off the edge, and it's going to have a rubber base to it so it doesn't move around on your table. So the graphics I am using are graphics I have found in various places on the internet, and they're pretty good. They are not perfect, but in order for me to get perfect graphics, I would have to go in and scan. I've got all the kits. In fact, I've got 3 of each of the kits. I would have to scan the boxes and then get into Photoshop or Lightroom and do a whole lot of correction. And at some point, I'm going to do that when I get around to producing the kits. But that's probably about 3 years away. So, and I know people really want these magnets, and once you reduce the images, they look just fine. So I just want to be upfront because I want to be absolutely transparent when I'm working with people. So anyway, that's it's going to be a real nice set of magnets. It's something you're going to be really happy to put up on your refrigerator or use as a coaster. I don't know what the pricing is going to be yet. I'm thinking for a full set of 18, and yes, 18. There's another magnet that's, if you got the promotional material, there's the one little insert that said "make a scene" with a sunset. So that's also going to be a magnet. So you're going to have 18 magnets in the set, and they will be along this size. Again, they're not going to be all square. They're going to be in relative size, close to match up what the boxes are in relation to each other. And the coasters, I'm figuring out how I'm going to do the coasters. I will probably sell them individually. Now, with all of this, I'm guessing I'm only going to do about 30 to 50 of the sets of magnets and a small quantity of the coasters as well. I have not completely figured out how many I'm going to do. I've also got so many other projects related to this and other stuff. I've got videos that I'm going to be putting up on Gumroad that are going to be, you could, I don't know if I'd call them tutorials, but they're certainly me documenting making different models. So I'm going to be doing that, and I've got some other prehistoric scenes related projects that I've got in the works. And the long term is that if things go the way I want, and we'll see, I'd like to start producing my own set of prehistoric scenes kits. This will be a whole new line, and maybe use some featured artists in certain sections. But I've got an idea of something like 60 kits. We'll see what happens. That's what I would like to do. We'll see what reality holds. But anyway, I'm real excited about this refrigerator magnet and coaster project, and looking forward to offering it to you probably in about 1 to 3 months. So stay tuned. More adventures to come. Take care.